Hey everyone, and welcome to Rocky Watches Movies. Today we're diving deep into the world of Arnold Schwarzenegger's cyborg assassin, the Terminator. Get ready to walk back to 1984 as we revisit the sci-fi action classic with a whole new perspective. We'll be uncovering surprising facts, behind-the-scenes secrets, and little-known details that might just change the way you see the film forever. So let's get on with it. Here are 24 things you never knew about the Terminator. James Cameron's The Terminator launched him into Hollywood stardom, but his vision could have been drastically different if not for his firm rejections of some studio ideas. Perhaps the most outlandish suggestion was a cyborg dog companion for Kyle Reese. Apparently, someone thought a robotic pet would enhance the film. Thankfully, for the sake of the narrative tension and maybe a bit of common sense, this canine companion bit the dust. The original Terminator almost featured a double dose of Arnold Schwarzenegger. The plan was to have two cyborgs travel back in time, one to terminate Sarah Connor and another to protect her, both played by Arnie. However, budget constraints forced the story to focus on a single, relentless Terminator. This concept of rival Terminators eventually found its way into Terminator 2: Judgment Day. To leave a lasting impression at the pitch meeting, James Cameron pulled out a stop unlike any other. He enlisted actor Lance Henriksen, his collaborator from Piranha 2: The Spawning, to embody the Terminator, a character yet to be cast. Henriksen, clad in a ripped shirt, a weathered leather jacket, and combat boots, stormed into the studio office, his teeth glinting with makeshift gold foil. This unconventional introduction, orchestrated by Cameron, grabbed the attention of John Day, head of Hemdale Pictures, a low-budget studio. Day, impressed by both the audacious presentation and Cameron's pitch, greenlit the Terminator with a modest budget of $6 million. Eagle-eyed viewers might notice a discrepancy in the Terminator. The house number 14239 appears above the doorway of the first Sarah Connor the Terminator visits. However, this number doesn't match any addresses listed for Sarah Connor in the phone book the Terminator looks at. The idea for the Terminator started with a dream. James Cameron had a tumultuous experience making his directorial debut in 1981's Piranha 2: The Spawning. But as he once put it, sometimes nightmares are a business asset. While in Rome for the horror movie's release, Cameron had a fever dream of a metal death figure coming out of a fire. Cameron, inspired by the low-budget success of John Carpenter's 1978 slasher film Halloween, initially envisioned the Terminator as a horror movie. The influence is evident in the film's core elements. The relentless pursuit of Sarah Connor by the emotionless Terminator mirrors the classic final girl trope often seen in slashers. However, the science fiction elements, particularly the cyborg assassin and weaponry, push the film into action territory. This blend of genres, with the horror elements serving as a foundation for the action, is what defines the Terminator's unique identity and what has cemented its place as a landmark film in both science fiction and action cinema. Science fiction author Harlan Ellison claimed the Terminator bore similarities to his 1964 Outer Limits episode Soldier, based on his 1957 short story Soldier from Tomorrow. He pursued legal action against Orion Pictures, the film's distributor. The case reached an out-of-court settlement, with Ellison receiving an undisclosed financial compensation and an acknowledgement in the film's credits. James Cameron, however, publicly disagreed with the settlement, calling Ellison's claims unfounded. Cameron later referred to him as a parasite who can kiss my ass. Despite having only directed Piranha 2: The Spawning, James Cameron was determined to helm the Terminator. Instead of simply selling the script to the highest bidder, he took a strategic gamble. He sold it to producer Gail Ann Hurd for $1, with the crucial condition that he be allowed to direct the film. This decision proved to be the turning point for both Cameron and Hurd. Not only did it launch Cameron's directing career into the stratosphere, but the two would go on to marry in 1985, although their partnership ended in divorce in 1989. 7 separate artists worked round the clock for 6 months to create Cameron's vision of the Terminator skeleton puppet. But when they tried to puppeteer the skeleton walking on set, Cameron thought the lumbering rig didn't look real enough. To make up for the fake-looking walking, Cameron added a story beat that had the Terminator develop a limp after walking out of the fiery truck. Schwarzenegger was initially going to play Kyle Reese, but Cameron had a change of heart and asked if the actor would consider playing the titular villain instead, after Schwarzenegger kept telling him how he thought the T-800 should act. While Schwarzenegger, fresh off his heroic turn as Conan the Barbarian, hesitated to play a villain, Cameron's vision eventually won him over. Sting was apparently offered $350,000 to play Kyle Reese, but at the time he was committed to star in David Lynch's Dune. Another musician, Bruce Springsteen, was considered, even though he had no movie acting experience. Kurt Russell, Tommy Lee Jones, Mickey Rourke, Michael O'Keefe, Scott Glenn, Treat Williams, Christopher Reeve, and Mel Gibson were also on the radar. While a persistent online rumour suggests O.J. Simpson was once considered for the Terminator, Orion Pictures co-founder Mike Medavoy confirmed in 2014 that he did propose Simpson for the role. However, director James Cameron ultimately rejected the idea, believing Simpson was too much of a nice guy to pull off the cold ruthlessness needed for the cyborg assassin. Oh, how wrong he was. Arnold Schwarzenegger, concerned about delivering the line "I'll be back" flawlessly, proposed a slight change to Cameron. He suggested using "I will be back" instead, believing it sounded more appropriate for a machine and less likely to have pronunciation issues. Cameron, confident in Schwarzenegger's abilities, assured him they would film multiple takes to capture the best delivery. For the scene where Kyle Reese arrives from a flash in the sky, a stuntman positioned roughly 7 feet above the ground on a bed of wooden beams was tasked with the jump. Bain has said, when the director yelled action, the stuntman simply leapt off, completely nude, and landed with a full impact on the unforgiving concrete. It wasn't padded in any way. Bain, a veteran of the action genre with over 4 decades of experience, emphasised that was one of the most hardcore stunts he's ever witnessed in his career. Schwarzenegger speaks only 58 words in the film. While Arnie only delivers 17 lines of dialogue in the first movie, the T-800 itself speaks a few additional phrases. These are dubbed voices though, one is a police officer's voice and the other mimics Sarah Connor's mother in an attempt to trick her. Linda Hamilton broke her ankle before shooting. To work around this, all the scenes where Sarah Connor runs from the T-800 were shot at the tail end of the shooting schedule. In one draft of the screenplay, Cameron wrote that Connor had an old figure skating injury that required surgical pins in her tibia. When the T-800 kills the first 2 Sarah Connors, he cut their legs open to look for the surgical mark, but this was taken out of the final cut. In Poland, the film was released as The Electronic Murderer, while a direct translation of Terminator in Polish might suggest something like an apprentice. This doesn't convey the powerful, unstoppable cyborg envisioned by James Cameron. But when the movie became popular in Poland, the later films stuck with the original titles. In a brutal display of special effects dedication, Tom Woodruff Jr., the mastermind behind the scene, volunteered his own hand to be pummeled by a lead pipe as Kyle Reese relentlessly attacked the T-800. The beating was so convincing it came at a cost. Tom temporarily lost feeling in his fingers, but all was not lost. James Cameron, with a touch of dark humour, acknowledged the sacrifice with a now legendary Christmas card. Merry Christmas, hope the feeling comes back to your fingers someday. The teaser trailer's narrator was none other than Peter Cullen, the iconic voice behind Optimus Prime in the Transformers franchise. Cullen's impressive range extends far beyond the heroic Autobot leader though. He also brought the lovable pessimism of Eeyore to life in Winnie the Pooh from 88 to 2010. In a playful act of foreshadowing, James Cameron embedded a hidden message within the film. During Sarah Connor's frantic escape from the Terminator, she ducks into a club named Tech Noir. Cameron came up with the name of the club as a reference for the non-existent genre that he felt the movie would fit into. Today, Tech Noir has become a movie genre of its own. The word Tech Noir describes a blend of visionary sci-fi and film noir. Most of the car chase scenes in the films were filmed at normal speed, and then the film was sped up afterwards to make it look faster. But in order to fully sell the trickery, there were other cars riding next to the cars that were on screen that were outfitted with rotating lights to make it look like the car was passing exterior light sources very quickly. The tension crackles as Sarah Connor seeks refuge in a Los Angeles police station, teeming with 30 officers. One cop tries to calm her, assuring her safety with that many on her side. Little do they know, the Terminator is a relentless killing machine. In a scene renowned for its brutality and action, the Terminator tears through the station, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. James Cameron, a master of detail, ensures the on-screen carnage aligns with the officer's claim. Every bullet spurt fired, every cop eliminated meticulously adds up to the promised 30, a testament to both the Terminator's efficiency and Cameron's commitment to film realism. While Cameron remained firmly behind the camera, he couldn't resist leaving a few playful vocal cameos in The Terminator. Listen closely, and you'll hear him as the man who calls Sarah Connor and leaves a message on her answering machine breaking their date. But that's not all. He also answers the phone at the Tiki Motel with a distinct lack of hospitality. A fitting anonymous performance for the film's mastermind. And there you have it, folks. You now know a little bit more about The Terminator. If you enjoyed the video, which I presume you did as you got this far, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos coming to Rocky Watches Movies. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.